What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Invest in Hockey podcast. Today is a bonus episode. I'm joined with a special guest, Tiger, today, who's a goalie. We're going to be getting into that. And today our topic is junior hockey in North America. So, welcome in, Tiger. How's it going?
Um, doing just fine. How about you, bud?
Pretty solid. Week's going well. There's been lots of hockey, so can't
Oh
complain,
yeah, there has been.
not just games, but lots of hockey news. So I think we really are going to come together, kind of discuss this, put it in a nutshell, and hopefully get that out to our viewers. So, what's the first thing you want to talk about today? I guess I want to ask you how you found the Invest in Hockey podcast.
Well, Travis Oilers.
Oh
I
yeah,
came across Slaying the Biscuit. He's got a good podcast, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep looking at more hockey podcasts. So I wasn't a podcast guy. I've always been a diehard hockey guy, never a podcast guy. But I just started looking at podcasts, and I found you guys, and I was like, you know what? These guys from Ontario. I'm like, why not just hit them up, see if they want to do a video? Because I'm a big hockey guy, and I'm like,
yeah,
I got knowledge of the game. I want to do podcasts, and I was like, you know what? See if these guys want to do something.
yeah, and that's pretty sick. So did you find our Instagram first or what?
I think I found you guys yeah, I think it was Instagram actually.
Because yeah, you hit us up on Instagram. We were like, oh, this is sick. Like, obviously to get a DM, the first guy to DM us, kind of, and we're like, I actually didn't know you were from Ontario originally because I saw the photos of you when you were playing in the States junior, and I was like, oh, like maybe he's from the
Oh, when I was
States, and
playing at
he,
Adrian, yeah, no, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I reached out, or we kind of went back and forth, and we had a Zoom last week. We talked about how we're both from Ontario, both played in the G. So we'll get more into that, but I guess briefly bring us through your junior hockey career, and then we'll go into more about North America.
Well, needless to say, I was a suitcase. Right now, actually, I played for three teams my first full year, my first rookie year, five teams if you include me getting sent down twice. Um, like right before the season started, I played preseason in junior A, sent down to junior B, sent down from junior B to junior C. The rest of it's been that, just basically junior C my whole career. Um, Seen a little bit of junior B action in preseason games and whatnot, but that's about it. Played at Adrian College last year for half a semester. One big shutout, not a big deal.
There you go.
I came back to Canada, play juniors again, and just this season's been rough. I was injured, but as you heard, I committed to the University of Alabama with their ACHA Division One program, which I'm very excited for. And right now, I'm in talks with the team, hopefully signing for the remainder of this season, but more of that to come. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, both you guys. I never played triple. I played AAA for 1 year, but I was like 10. The rest of my life was spent as a double A guy in the G, right? So,
Mhm.
big
Yeah,
thing.
pretty crazy. Yeah, it's a pretty crazy. I guess like junior career. Even we haven't even talked about minor hockey yet, and that's a whole other segment. But it's pretty cool to hear that we both played in the G, especially Anthony and I just playing in the Double A loop, and not obviously facing you. We have a year difference in terms of the age gap there, but it's pretty sick how things can work out. Especially you talk about being sent down, maybe from junior A to B or B to C. Would you say the biggest spark in your junior career was the that shutout there?
Which one with with Adrian? I went really college. That was where I was playing college in the
Yeah, so was
States.
that, I guess, was that the biggest spark for you, like getting to college, or do you think it was once you were there?
I'll be honest with you, like I have nothing but respect for the Adrian hockey program, but I feel like it wasn't the right fit. Um, I felt like I was 19 years old playing at in a level that I thought I could play a lot higher at, and I thought, like come back to Canada and develop, I can go a lot higher. And
Yeah.
obviously, Alabama's Division One, I was playing ACHA Division Three at Adrian. So getting to move up levels is definitely a big thing. But I gotta say the height of my junior career was playing with Almont Inferno in the NCJHL. Went on a little bit of a playoff run, and I was in net for their first ever. They'd never made the playoffs before,
Wow.
so we did this like round robin thing where it was like whoever won got the final wild card spot, and it
Yeah.
was they've been in that for a few years. So, or I think last year they did it. So it was a big deal. It meant a lot to the town. It meant a lot to the people and the players and everybody on the team when we came away with that final wild card spot
Yeah.
after that playoff series.
That's
So
huge.
yeah, that's definitely the height of my junior career. I'll tell you that
There you
much.
go. There you go. And overall, your experience, and I guess because we're Ontario based in Ontario, your junior experience has been nothing but pretty great, right? A lot of memories, as you said.
You know, some people ask me why don't I hate my junior career because I've been traded so much, moved around so much, but most of the people who say that are people who didn't play junior. So I'll uh I'll take the odd chirp. Like I'll say I didn't have the greatest junior career stats wise. I could have done a lot better, but I had fun. You know, I played like at the end of the day, what percentage of hockey players actually end up even playing one game in junior, right? So
Exactly.
um, I'm just happy that I made it this far. You know, and obviously with Alabama and college hockey, it can go a lot farther, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. No, honestly, good for you. That's been it's nice hearing about that, especially from junior players who are still pursuing new things, especially next
Yeah,
year.
I'm gonna say all junior guys don't give up. If you want to keep going, you know, like don't, especially a lot of 18-year-olds that 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, you know, 16, 17-year-olds. You might get frustrated with your play sometimes. You might get tossed around, but never stop trying. Always have that drive. You never know what's going to come next, right?
Yeah,
So,
you had a long
um,
time in your hockey career, right? So,
exactly.
and it just
Do it
shows
while
you.
you can. Do
Yeah,
it while
do it
you
while
can.
you can. Yeah, for sure. I guess that leads us into our next topic. Um, we both played in the GTHL, and they just had their top prospects game for OHL draft prospects that'll be drafted this upcoming off season. So I don't know if you were able to see that highlight tape. I just want to get right to that 60-second clip on TikTok or whatever. That was probably the sickest edit I've ever seen. Did you have a
Oh, dude,
chance to look?
I went to the game.
Oh, you went to the game. There you
I went
go.
to the I go I try to go every year that I can, and obviously I missed it last year, but um it's amazing. You know, you
Yeah,
watch these kids playing and like, and I said this before and I'll say it again. The GTHL is the best minor hockey league in the world.
yeah,
There's no like the players, and unfortunately, it's getting expensive. Like AAA, I think I'm
yeah,
seeing AAA now is like over 10 grand. If not, well, and then that's not factoring in like driving and travel and all that stuff and
yeah.
hotels and what. So, um, no, but I'll definitely say that I think the GTHL is the best minor hockey league. There's like I said, I played Double A, you know, and I
Mhm.
Double A and the G is pretty. You know, so there are teams in there. Like you take out the Mississauga Terriers or the Vaughan Panthers, they can beat some OMHA AAA teams. They can beat some AAA teams from other places. I can guarantee you that.
So I guess tell me about the game. How was what was the score? Everything like that. Obviously, the environment you said was great.
Environment was unreal. To be honest with you, I just being a hockey guy, I wasn't really focused on the score. I was more focused on who was playing. I was looking at different players. I was watching the goalies a lot. Being a goalie, I want to see what the new stuff kept up in hockey is. Like I remember when
Yeah.
the RVH became a big thing,
Oh yeah.
and I'm noticing a lot with some of these goalies nowadays. Like some of them are small. Like I can't believe
Mhm.
because the NHL is moving towards a bigger thing where they want bigger goalies for a while.
Bigger equipment too, right?
Yeah, but the thing is now is I'm seeing a lot of small. Like even when I was at college, I was the tallest guy on my team as a goalie.
Oh yeah.
Every other goalie was shorter than me when I was playing at Adrian.
There you go.
Um, but the thing is, like some of these small goalies are insanely good because they're so fast. You can't score on them.
Yeah.
But the G prospect game was fast paced. It looked like junior hockey. Like I'm telling you, GTHL is like quadruple A. Like you watch that game, it's like watching quadruple A hockey.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. And I
it's
guess
insane.
the most impressive thing I'd say without going to the game, I assume the chemistry looked like it was there even when guys haven't played together before, right?
Well, obviously they get a few practices and before they do that stuff, but it they knew how to play. They know how to sauce the puck. They know how to pass each other. They
Yeah.
know how to make plays. They know how to set up in the zone. Like um, a lot of those kids are going to go far. You know, there's no doubt. And maybe some guys will go OHL. Some guys will go to the States.
Yeah.
So definitely exciting to see which guys go where in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah. That's
Um,
sick. That's really sick. You went to the game. What arena was that?
Scotiabank Pond.
Scotiabank. Okay, so a classic. Yeah, I guess a
Always
top.
just always yeah. You know, GRC baby.
There you go. There you go. That's sick. That's honestly awesome. Yeah, when I saw that edit, I was like, man, I would have loved to watch that game. Like the jerseys were sick. The obviously the rink's like a prime rink and stuff, but it looked sick. Maybe next year we'll have to go with the unite at the rinks, have a watch, maybe make another podcast on it. So
Do like a bar down thing, get in the penalty box, interview the guys in there, you know.
yeah, honestly, I'd love to do that. Hopefully we can reach out to the GJHL, see what works, especially as players who have played in the GTHL. That way, we're not just strangers, right?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome. I think that leads us into real junior hockey talk, which comes after the GTHL, after you turn, call it 17, 18.
16, yeah, 16,
Even
17,
even
18.
yeah, as early as 16. I guess we see guys who are 06s, even 07s starting to play junior hockey now.
Oh
So
yeah, well there's in the dub there's guys who are 08s because in the WHL you get the extra year. So
yeah,
like you're drafted in the Bantam draft. So there's guys there's a guy right now he played a few games in the dub already. He's got 2 goals in 3 games. I forget his name now, but he's nasty.
I did see that. I
It,
saw a little highlight there. Yeah, it's
it's
just pretty
insane
sick.
how good these kids are at that
Yeah,
age.
scoring in your WHL debut when you're in, call it the 10th grade or something, is
15 years
crazy.
old, you're in grade 10, buddy. You go back,
Yeah.
you're picking up every single chick in your class. Like, yeah, you're going back there. You're picking up every single chick.
Yeah, no, that's funny. It's pretty awesome to see, eh?
Oh, I
Yeah.
love
So
it.
honestly, that leads me into asking you a little about some top junior leagues. Specifically, we'll go into some recent news, which was the AJHL combining with the BCHL a little bit, and we call it a merge. Tell me a little about that.
So basically, what's going on right now is so the BCHL. I'm sure you've read up on it a little bit, but the BCHL left Hockey Canada. I think it was either last year or the year before they left Hockey Canada. And so basically, because the BCHL is so ahead of every other junior. I wouldn't say like tons ahead, but noticeably ahead of every other junior A league in Canada. Like
Yeah.
I'm not throwing shade at the AJ. I'm not throwing shade at the SJ. I'm not throwing shade at the OJ or the Nose or any of the other junior A leagues in Canada.
Yeah.
The BCHL it has become the league where if you're a Canadian and you can't go to the USHL and you can't go to the Null, you're going to go play the BCHL.
Hmm.
There are some players in that league that are truly tremendous hockey players.
Yeah.
And I think it was getting unfair to the point where, there was sanctions and stuff put in by Hockey Canada that maybe the BCHL wasn't happy with.
Yeah.
Um, so they left and started their own thing. So then all 3 junior B leagues in British Columbia got promoted to junior A. So now
Okay.
that's kind of messy out there.
Yeah.
But the big thing too is now we got the AJ teams leaving. So Hockey Canada is obviously a bit of a mess right now. So a
Yeah.
lot of,
Oh,
once the CHL left, AJHL, funny enough, Brooks Bandits, one of their most popular alumni is Cale McCarr,
yeah.
got drafted to the NHL from Brooks. They're gone. They're going to the BCHL.
Pretty crazy. That's pretty
Don't
crazy. Yeah.
I don't remember the rest of the teams, but I know 5 teams from the AJ have left, gone to the BCHL, and if they do well, there's a potential you might see a lot of these junior A leagues just leave and start. They might just start their own league, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
it's pretty crazy to hear. Like you were saying about the alumni there. There's a lot of guys that are still kind of NHL prospects, haven't played too many games. Dylan Holloway being one, Dylan Gunther being another. He scored a goal last night. I think he has 3 goals and he's only played something, whatever, just over 20 games in the NHL. But like a lot of these guys, like you were saying, from the AJHL, which means now you're gonna see all these guys coming from the BCHL. Talk about credibility now from that league, right?
oh, huge! The AJHL is probably one of the best, other than like the USHL. Probably if you're gonna go into AA D1, the number one league you're gonna go to is probably the BCHL or the USHL. Just strictly because you can't play in the OHL, you can't play in the Q, you can't play in the Dub, and then go NCAA.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, it's considered pro, and if you're a pro athlete, you can't play college sports in the states, at least not at the NCAA level,
Yeah.
from what I know.
Uh-huh.
So, but definitely, if they do well, like they could you could potentially see all these leagues leave and start their own thing.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. So that means, yeah, I guess that's pretty big for the BCHL, meaning we're gonna have to see some other leagues, especially at the junior A level, somehow step it up, maybe make some more merges. We'll see what happens with Hockey Canada. But you were saying an interesting point there about not being able to play in the States after you've played in the BCHL, sorry?
Oh no! So if you play in the OHL, QMJHL, the WHL, You can't. So if you play in any of the three CHL leagues,
Yeah.
you can't play in NCAA. BCHL is the number. If in Canada, the BCHL is the number one league for
Yeah.
getting
Okay.
scholarship to the states. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because I was gonna say I knew you lose a year of eligibility pretty much, right? So eventually you'll age out, right?
Where in
Like, from the OHL, if you wanted to go NCAA, but you only played one
oh
year
no,
in
you
the
can't
O.
play. Like, they just won't let you go play in the states. Like you can't
Okay.
because it's considered. Well, I guess there was one guy who played at Adrian with me. He played like four. He didn't play with me. He played NCAA D3. He
Yeah.
played like 4 games in the WHL, but I guess like, he was when he was 15. Like it was the same thing, Bantam draft kind of thing.
Yeah. So
So
it's
you can appeal it, but it's very rare that it gets
yeah.
lifted.
Seems like a long process, especially with whether it's Hockey Canada or whether it's somehow to deal with the states there. That seems like a long
Yeah.
process. The one guy I got to mention to you since you're a goalie, I don't think we even mentioned that at the start. We should have, but obviously you're a goalie and with that commitment. So Logan Thompson, he went to Brock. He's a Brock
Brock, he's a
alumni.
U Sports guy.
Yeah, and then he's also a AJHL alumni, which I
Yeah.
should know. I want to say he played for Sherwood Park. I'm probably wrong, but that's pretty cool to see that story too, eh?
Yeah, I mean, no, the big thing is like, well, you think Logan Thompson obviously playing at Brock, it's definitely a big step in the direction for U Sports. They're
Yeah.
usually all former CHL guys. Some you might see some junior A and junior B guys mixed in there.
Yeah.
Maybe some former pro guys mixed in there actually sometimes. But no, U Sports definitely needed someone to get out there a bit more. They've had a few alumni, like Joel Ward being one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Used to play for Sharks, Capitals
Caps.
back in the day.
Yeah.
He, I'm not mistaken, he played U Sports, but it's definitely a big thing to see a guy like Logan Thompson who's having an unreal career. Like he's doing good so far.
Yeah. He's doing great. He's got an opportunity. Aiden Hill's another guy from the AJHL, but they're both kind of playing great
Yeah,
for Vegas. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to look at that alumni, especially you as a goalie. You probably are like, wow, that's another possibility, this or that, right? So, it's cool. You've been in the states and in Canada, so you got some of the experience as well. But I think that leads us into the, I guess, the big point, which our viewers are probably waiting for, but the Hockey Canada scandal relating to the World Juniors. So let's dive right into it.
so obviously I've done a lot of research into this because I'm that kind of guy. Um, it's unfortunate to see Hockey Canada going down like this. Obviously it's innocent until proven guilty. It's pretty. I hate to say that, but it's like it's just how I think. Like I know what the accusations are severe.
Yeah,
And in no way do I condone the actions that these guys have done, but I'm just gonna say like innocent until proven guilty. But I have a strong feeling it's not going to be a good outcome.
Mhm.
Which is unfortunate because like the names that are being thrown around, man. Some of these guys are finally breaking out, and it's like like you look at one of the guys from the Devils there, McLeod. He's having a great year, but like I'm hoping that these guys aren't part of it. Like like you look at Dubé and you look at like unfortunately they're all part of the same of that team, so it's kind of
Yeah.
hard to not make those assumptions. But
Uh,
at the same time, it could just be a coincidence these guys leaving their teams for personal reasons.
yeah. So I
Um,
guess to give our viewers a background, there was five specific players from the NHL. Sorry, four from the NHL, one from the whatever league.
Switzerland,
Yeah,
Switzerland, yeah.
Swiss league. Formenton being the guy from the Swiss league, and then McLeod, Calfoot, Carter Hart, and who's the other guy? Sorry,
Dylan Dubé.
Dylan Dubé. Yeah. So like specifically, those five are reporting to London, where the World Juniors took place. Correct.
No, it was a charity event
Okay,
when
charity
yeah,
event.
yeah, it was in
Okay.
the summer. But well, again, it's not confirmed it was those five guys yet. Like, because the other thing you got to think too is there's guys from that 2018 team. I
Yeah.
understand it's okay. There's five of them. Yeah, I understand that, and I understand that five guys have been released that played on that, or not released, but given leaves of absences that were
Yeah.
on that team. But at the same time, you got to think of the guys who are free agents that were on that team. Um, that we wouldn't even know if they're reporting or not, right?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping. Like obviously, it's pretty certain that some of these guys obviously have something to do with it, but I'm hoping that some of these guys were just happen to be a coincidence, happen to do this at the wrong time.
Yeah,
Have to
exactly.
break
It's hard.
absence. Yeah.
It's hard for us to make assumptions when, again, no one's they're suspects for things, but if no one's proven guilty, we can't really call something complete, right? Obviously, there's a
Yeah.
more investigation. There's more yeah, we don't know what's gonna happen to these players, so it's really hard for us to speak on it. But I'm glad you could give us a little background. Any other kind of info that maybe our viewers would appreciate from that?
No, I've dug into it, and it gets, you hear the story of what happened, and it's just awful. And unfortunately,
Yeah.
being a junior hockey player, like, I really hate to say it, being a junior, like, obviously I can say I've never done anything like, like, I would never even. I have two sisters. Like, I would never. I couldn't even imagine doing something like that or that happening. Like, it's just it's unfortunate for me to say, because it's just being around the game. It's not all the guys. 99%, and too. 99% of the guys you meet in hockey are probably the nicest guy you'll ever meet in your life.
Hmm.
But it's like every sport. It's like any sport. It's like any workplace. There's always those few guys that are just, they did the stupid. They do something stupid.
Yeah.
There's no excuses for it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So,
And
um,
unfortunately, like to kind of not even count your part, but that 0.1% or 1% is a big factor into hockey culture for at least like if we're looking just at hockey. And then when you look at, maybe business or the workplace, of course it's going to be different. You look at like, a law firm, things like that. It's all going to be different because that's a lot more specific. But when you look at hockey culture as a whole, it's huge, right? And it's like, again, like you were saying, it's terrible to hear that stuff. The allegations and things, and yeah, puts a pit in your stomach. And yeah, that's I'm glad we were able to kind of give our viewers a bit of what's happening, just because I know a lot of people have questions. Um, I don't know if you're a big Twitter guy, but Twitter's kind of blowing up, I'd say, right?
yeah, big time.
And so
Um,
like it's really interesting to talk about it just because you don't know what this leads into in terms of possibly other scandals in other sports, right? Or other scandals from other like junior hockey leagues or anything like that, right?
yeah, well, the big thing too here that I'm hearing is that I think should be released to the public, and I think is important, is there's 15 cases where, so Hockey Canada had this money that they put aside, that they had. If you actually look, so Hockey Canada was getting funded by the government.
Yeah.
Hockey Canada gets money from, they say it's a nonprofit organization, but they get money from minor hockey players. Um, Basically, there was a fund put aside that was for settlements, including like sexual assault allegations, which is doesn't look good. Doesn't look good.
Yeah, no.
And it says in print it's for settlements for those allegations and stuff like that, and for
Mhm.
trials and whatnot. And basically, there's been 15 cases of I think it was 15 cases where it's
Yeah.
been players who play within Hockey Canada, but none of the cases there's been one person, it's been multiple.
Yeah.
Or it was something like that. It was something like they had 15 cases of multiple players, and
Yeah.
since 1989, and basically Hockey Canada have been paying these people off to be quiet.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously it's sad to see. Like, we're both Canadian, um,
Yeah.
and hockey's definitely it's our blood, man. Like, unfortunately in Ontario, at least I'm seeing hockey starting to die a little bit. But
Yeah.
I would like, I don't see kids playing pond hockey like I used to. I don't see
Yeah.
kids outside playing road hockey like I used to. Like, I
Yeah.
remember being a kid out in the street every single day, right? Like, I'm not sure I was you too, but I was on the street every single day.
Oh my, yeah, man. Honestly, I think that's a great kind of topic to end on there is just like our childhood and how like important that was. Like mini sticks to road hockey
Oh,
to
mini sticks in the hallways at tournaments, dude. I'm surprised I didn't get kicked out of a hotel. I'm being
oh, I
honest with you,
know.
at tournaments, dude, it was brutal.
They had to
Like,
deal with
I hope.
a lot of loud kids, a lot of running, a lot of sticks that like, chip the walls, like all that
Oh,
stuff.
dude, and you knew, like, when you turned, like, okay, I'm not sure when did you stop playing double A, when you were like 18, 6, 17?
16, I want to say it was
So I'm not. So maybe you didn't experience this, but when I was 15, so my grade 10 year, we all went on. Oh, sorry, my grade 9 year,
yeah.
14, we all went to a tournament to Pittsburgh, and there was always any tournament you go on after you turn 14. There's one guy's room where you all start boozing it up. Like it's brutal, and like I had the same tournament. Our coach showed up to a game drunk. This guy was hammered on the bench. Like
Oh,
it was, he was too shit faced, dude. Like he was hammered,
oh my goodness.
and he just goes. So like the refs were brutal in this game. I just remember this one kid in our team, Ethan Holder. He was a defenseman, and
Yeah.
our coach just grabs him on the bench, looks at him, and goes, "When you get out there, what you go kill someone?" He's like, just go hit somebody. And I'm like, "Oh, our coach got the all thrown out."
Oh my
This guy's
goodness.
like throwing towels and shit. Like he's okay,
Oh
he's telling
no.
her kill him and shit. It was awful. It was
Yeah.
funniest. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, there's all these like those memories where you like can vividly remember what happened. I don't have any of those memories from like on the bench where just because I mean obviously that conduct's obviously questionable, but I remember going to a Red Wings game and those Detroit tournaments, and that's when all the booze were there for the coaches and stuff. That was when the kids were too young to be drinking. But yeah, honestly, all
Oh,
those
dude,
stories.
there was
Um,
always the one room for the parents too, where the parents were boozing it up.
yeah, it was like
There
a
was always the
suite. It was like a
yeah,
suite room, eh?
and they were making like they had like they had the jungle juice going in the big tubs. They were pouring like all the
Yeah,
vodka and like fruit. They had the big jungle juice going and
yeah. I know,
friggin'
and then it
oh
was it was next day Bailey's and hot chocolate for the parents
in
at
the
the rink.
mornings. Oh yeah, your
Yeah,
dad hands you hot chocolate and you're like, hey, this tastes funny, and all of a sudden you start feeling weird. Your dad goes, oh shit, that was mine.
I know. You walk in, yeah, the moms walking to the rink, their team's down 3-0, but hey, they pull up the Baileys and they're good.
No, dude, I think the worst was like one of our kids. His no, like so I was telling the story about that. I was making fun about that. One of the guy's dads actually did put Bailey in the kid's hot chocolate one morning by accident. And like we were like 13, right? So alcohol hits you a lot different when you're that age.
Yeah.
Dude was walking into the dressing room and he's like,
Oh,
you
no.
know, he's like, yo, what's going on? I'm like, dude, this is probably the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Oh my God. You talk about, yeah. Hey, anything can happen when you get the alcohol involved for sure. But obviously it's all
Oh,
you gotta be
oh yeah,
safe out
dude.
there. You gotta be if you're playing hockey, don't be doing
Don't
that.
be
But it's
boozing it
it's
too
it's
much. If
great
you're
for
playing
the
hockey, fellas, don't be boozing it too much.
yeah, yeah. But no, I think that's a great topic to end off on. So honestly, you got a big year coming up. What's the biggest thing you're doing to prepare for next year at Alabama?
Diet, like working out, lifestyle kind of things. Like I've dropped a lot of weight. Um, Definitely feel like once I got released from like I went on a bit of a health thing last year. I like to say I had a decent like my goal against average wasn't amazing, but
Yeah,
had a better save
yeah,
percentage than usual,
for
and
sure.
it was just strictly from like working out and taking care of myself. And I think if I continue with that future, like I like to think I have the raw talent sometimes, but you can't do it all with raw talent.
Yeah.
That's one thing I learned. The reason why I probably never played AAA was because I didn't work out. I wasn't really, I never really lived in that AAA. Because those guys are just like crazy, man. So
Hmm.
like you wouldn't believe what some of these parents are doing. Like I had buddies, like you heard
Yeah.
about Connor Bedard. He's never had fast food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Oh
that,
man.
that was like us. Like there was guys I knew who played AAA who like never had McDonald's, never had
Yeah.
Wendy's, never. Yeah, because their parents wanted to put them in the
Hmm.
NHL.
Yeah, it's crazy what the parents do, but I'm really glad what you're saying about you're maintaining your diet. Obviously, yeah, just kind of really being disciplined there, right?
Yeah, staying
Um,
consistent. Consistency's been up and down. So I think the big thing coming in the next year with Alabama is going to
yeah,
be staying consistent and just
yeah.
taking care of yourself.
For sure. Yeah, and yeah, I really appreciate that. Appreciate you sharing your thoughts on obviously some more serious topics, a lot of more fun ones, but it's always good to talk about reminisce those minor hockey memories, junior memories for you. And yeah, I appreciate you having us on that you're the first official guest of the Invest in Hockey podcast. So thank you very much. Thanks to our viewers. Have a listen, Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. So and yeah, thanks again, Tiger.
Anytime. Thanks for having me on. And hopefully do it again.